Hello and welcome to a new video. Today we're gonna take a look at the Open Master League. I've already looked at the Retro Cup earlier today with a very strong team. If you haven't seen that video, check that one out and also leave a like on this one here. We're going to take a look today at the fully XL variant of Melmetal for the Open Master League, but this time around with the new legacy move Double Iron Bash. This move got added last season but was not available for Elite TM until this season started. So now you're going to be able to use your already pre-built Melmetal and get the move Double Iron Bash on this Pokemon. So today we're going to take a look, is this an upgrade for this Pokemon or not? We're going to have definitely some indications at least for this one here, as you're going to have some really cool gameplay for this one. Otherwise you're going to have a team here with the Yveltal in the back as well as the Lugia. You can also use something like the Dragonite or the Rayquaza in the back, but after showcasing already the Heatran with a similar idea there, I kind of want to try to use some different Pokemon other than like another Dragon Flying type Pokemon in the back. So we're going to have Yveltal here, and Yveltal is going to be able to counter Giratina, usually at least. Let's take a look at this one. We're going to have the Dark Pulse coming through against them and gonna get the shield already. But of course, Giratina now learns the move Ancient Power, and of course, it is always going to be the case. You're gonna get an insane boost immediately from the opponent, which is going to flip the entire matchup. Afterwards, like, we're not going to be able to take two Ancient Powers before we were able to take two easily. But yeah, thanks game, thanks for this great gift here. Getting the boost immediately on the first Ancient Power is always a nice thing to see. As you're going to now at least going to be able to go for another move here and gonna get the final shield by the opponent, I thought, but no. They're going to, for whatever reason, let this move go through and allow me to knock them out, as well as going to be able to let me go for one Focus Burst and knock out their Dialga, going on to the Broguiere, and they know that they already screwed up at this point of time. Fairly certain if they just went ahead and shielded up the move against the Giratina, they would have most likely been able to win this game, but they didn't do that. Luckily, we're going to get out the Dialga against our Lugia right now, while we can go ahead and go for an Aeroblast and either get the shield or a big damage output there for us. It's going to be very nice for us because now we can actually flip switch, and as you're going to see here already, we're going to have an Yveltal in the back, and Yveltal getting this one onto Mewtwo is a fairly decent matchup for us. So that's exactly what we're going to try to do here. I'm going to try to get my shield back here with my Lugia as well, trying to go for the Aeroblast. Oh no, they're going to have a Zekrom in the back, and this is going to be one of the Pokemon that you don't want to face with this team. This is where, for example, as said before, a Dragonite would help you out quite a bit, or also something like a Rayquaza. Or even maybe, and actually I think Dragonite is the best Pokemon that you can run for this for this team in the back instead of the Yveltal. But of course here, this team kind of struggles against Zekrom, which wouldn't be the case if you run Dragonite in the back, which I only really didn't do because of the fact that I had the same backline before in the video. So yeah, this is going to be now definitely an issue for me. I will be able to still go for one Skype against the Mewtwo, get the final shield of the opponent, and let my Lugia go down here most likely, but no, they're actually running most likely the move Focus Blast, which will now make this matchup a little bit worse, because now I'm kind of forced to try to catch a move on my Melmetal with 1 HP after going into my Yveltal, while the switch lock is not even up. So yeah, this is not going to look too good here, I would say. But I might still be able to survive one Fusion Bolt, which I actually do, but the Dark Pulse is not coming through here, and this is going to be sadly a good game. Let's take a look at the next game. We're going to have a Dragonite in the lead. Here we're going to lose the coverage of Rock Slide. This is going to be a little bit of an issue against a flying type Pokemon in general. We don't have Rock Slide to do super effective damage. Also against something like a Ho-Oh. So there is something definitely where the cross-chop clone of Double Iron Bash, if you didn't know, cross-chop and Double Iron Bash is the same move with a different typing, is coming a little bit in a, I don't know, a little bit more of a difficult time there, because you're not going to be able to hit the super effective move there against the Dragonite, making it, I think, now a 3-shot, instead of a 2-shot. The same goes for the Ho-Oh, which you're not going to be able to hit at all anymore, so you have to be careful that your team can deal with Ho-Oh in the back, because otherwise you're not going to be able to use it. But here we're going to be able to know, not even get to my move, which is really bad, but we're at least going to get out the Groudon here, which is a very common Pokemon now. Like, I found so many Groudon against me in the last few days playing the Master League as well, like in like Frantics or whatever. It's kind of wild. A lot of people like to run Groudon, so be prepared. Double Flyer teams are, in my opinion, the way to go. But here we're going to see now the Fire Punch spam by the opponent's Groudon. I will be able to go for my own charge move here with the Dark Pulse, and I'm going to be able to knock them out here. And at this point of time, the Dragonite is going to have to go for a charge move. I'm pretty sure I can still survive this one, so I can let this move go through, and I can still get to my own Dark Pulse here, forcing the shield from the opponent. Then I have a ton of energy already onto my Melmetal. Of course, we only need 4 fast moves to get to a Double Iron Bash, so we're going to be insanely spammy, which is coming in clutch here right now, because the shields that the opponent left for us, they don't really matter, because I can just spam those Double Iron Bashes, as you can see here already, and we can just knock them out with that one as well. So this is going to be a good game already. Let's take a look at the next game. We're going to see the worst possible Pokemon to face for this team. Again, here something like a Dragonite would be a little bit better, while it's still going to get damage by the move Stone Edge, and still going to do a little bit more damage with the fast move, which is fairly decent for this matchup, but sadly here we're going to get hit by 1 Stone Edge already. I tried to catch the Super Power on my Lugia, that's why I swapped out of here, but I'm not really in a great spot. I'm really not in a good spot, especially as the opponent gonna go ahead and go into their Zacian, which are only going to run the Play Rough. I tried to go for this guy attack here, but my Pokemon just did a move instead, which is not really ideal. I'm pretty sure I clicked it on time, but it didn't work out. And now I'm forced to shield up the close combat by the opponent. I will be able to go for another charge move here with the Double Iron Bash. I'm forced to hope that they have something in the back that I can deal with my, with my Yveltal. I'm forced to shield this move up here as well. And as you're going to see right now, it's going to be a Dialga in the back, where I know already, yeah, there's nothing that I can really do here. So I'm just going to save both me, the opponent, as well as also you some time here by forfeiting this game. Horrific lead. What are you going to do against this? We're going to count to 7, and we're going to swap at 7 as well, as they're going to now get the Fire Punch onto us, which will be totally okay for us. We see still the Fire Punch animation thing there next to the Lugia. Great gameplay here so far. Wow, good job Niantic by... Oh, actually it got removed by the Shadow Ball, so at least the Shadow Ball is able to put off some fire, which is really great for the game. Thanks for that, man. But we see here already the Giratina going to have a ton of energy, but we have a shield advantage at this point of time. Omnius Wind is not going to do a ton of damage against me, but I will now have to deal with the incoming Shadow Ball, which actually does more damage than I expected. Shadow Ball definitely does hurt the Yveltal quite a bit, but also the Dark Pulse is going to knock out the opponent. I will be able to now have some extra energy, and in comes a Lugia. So maybe, just maybe, we can actually still deal with the opponent here, but it's going to be a tough one. The Dark Pulse is coming through here from our Yveltal, and now I'm actually thinking of just letting this move go through, because I don't feel like my Yveltal can really get to moves anymore. Fire Punch is going to knock me out already. Now it's all down to a Melmetal versus a Groudon. And here's one of the things where you might see that Double Iron Bash might actually not be that bad. We're going to be able to go ahead and get some spam for this move. This move is at least stab, doesn't debuff you, and it's going to be able to hit the Groudons for neutral, which is actually fairly decent, because before you had only Super Power as well as the Rock Slide. And like this, you're going to see it already. We're going to get the opponent fairly low, and we're also going to be able to hit another one. They're going to let this move go through as well. I called the Fire Punch bait before, which was really important, because now I can use my shields against the opponent's Fire Punches here, as I will have a ton of energy, and I think my opponent might be scared. So I'm not going to throw any charge move, and they're going to swap out into the Lugia, allowing us to get even more farm. Are we in range for one Mud Shot? This is the question. Can we still survive one Mud Shot here? This would be super important, and we can still get to our next charge move. And this will be a game, as we were able to beat a Groudon with a Melmetal, which was never able to do that before, because you either had to debuff yourself or you hit with not super effective moves. So you know, we're going to have an amazing lead, an amazing save-swap of the Shadow Mewtwo, and we can say already goodbye to them, because they definitely don't appreciate the Yveltal in the back. Let's take a look at the next game. We're going to have the Giratina in the lead. We're going to swap out here into our Lugia, and we can bait out the opponent's Zacian. This will allow us to go for the Aeroblast, but I might even go ahead and bait, but no, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to go straight for that one, and the Aeroblast is going to do a ton of damage. Let's see what they're going to go for. If they go for Play Rough, that's kind of bad for us, but if they go for Wild Charge, I might be able to realign. And you know already that with my backline there, the realigning might be the more important thing here to do, as they can go for one Sky Attack here, They can shield up if they want to, and they do want to, but this still allows us to go for the full farm down here with our Lugia, getting some more energy against them, and still going to be able to put my Yveltal against the opponent's Giratina Origin, which will be a very good matchup for us, as we're going to be able to counter the opponent with that one. I'm going to overfarm by a little bit and go for this Sky Attack to put them into range for just one Dark Pulse here, which works out fairly well, as we're now going to also put them into range for maybe some Double Iron Bashes. Let's see what they're going to do here. They're going to go for their own charge move as the Shadow Ball is coming through. We're going to do a little bit of damage, but in comes now the Excadrill. This is going to be a tough matchup to still come back from, and most likely I should go for the bait here, but I didn't do that, and I'm going to go straight for the Superpower, which was most likely a mistake, as now my attack is going to be debuffed, my defense is going to be debuffed. They could just go ahead and farm me down, but they're actually going to go for a charge move, which is really important for me, because now it just really depends if we can go ahead and get to another Focus Burst. They throw their charge move here right now. They're going to go for the Rock Slide. I'm going to overfarm by a little bit here, as they're going to swap out into the Giratina. I could have most likely thrown the Focus Burst earlier already. I'm going to undercharge here, allowing me to get one more fast move through. And this one more fast move is all I need to go for the Focus Blast, and the Yveltal is sweeping endgame here. Boom, goodbye there. Yveltal is just too strong. Let's take a look at the next opponent. We're going to have a Dialga in the lead, which you can definitely counter fairly decently with our Melmetal here. Melmetal has X2 Superpower, and honestly I misplayed this quite a bit. I should just go for 2 Superpowers here back to back. I'm gonna get the shield, but I'm swapping out here already into the Lugia, which most likely was not the play to go for, because the opponent is running Thunder. I expected the Dracomedia here, but Thunder is going to make this matchup way worse for me, as now they're going to have a super effective move to hit me with, which doesn't debuff them, so yeah, we are not really in the best spot. I'm gonna bait them first with a Sky Attack, hoping that they're gonna go for the shield here, but they don't go for the shield and they just don't care about their Dialga anymore. Which is kind of sad for us, because Aeroblast will have knocked them out. Now it's going to be super close, but we still survive with a 1 HP here, allowing us to realign against the Mewtwo, as they can go ahead and go into the Yveltal now and go for the Dark Pulse eventually. Usually they don't run anything super effective against us, but this is of course running the Ice Beam here, which is really bad for us, as we're gonna have to go for one Dark Pulse here, and in the back they have the Groudon, and this is really looking bad for us. At this point of time, I have to try to maybe even catch a move from the opponent. I'm gonna go for 2 more fast moves, and I can swap out and catch the Fire Punch by the opponent's Groudon, which is super important for me now, because I still have a shield. They're gonna still go for another charge move here. I have to hope that I can still survive it with like 1 HP, and I can, allowing me to go for a Double Iron Bash. This will put them into range, not for a Dark Pulse, but for Focus Burst. So this is the only play I can go for. This is exactly what I'm gonna go for. Focus Burst coming through, and boom, that's going to knock out the opponent's Groudon, and we can go out into the next game, which is also most likely the last game of today's video. Maybe there's another one, I'm not sure about it. But we're going to encounter Dialga here. This is fairly decent for us, I feel like. But the opponent going to catch perfectly onto a Lugia. So great play by the opponent here. Really bad for us, because now the opponent has a fast move extra, as well as they're going to now have the Lugia, or like in general the energy wasted by our Melmetal. So we can now go ahead and go for the Dark Pulse. I still should be able to outspeed the opponent easy enough that I should be able to realign, especially after they went for the Aeroblast. I can go ahead and go for the Dark Pulse here right now. And as you're going to see here right now, this is going to get them fairly low. We're going to see the Dialga coming back in, and I will be able to now go for another charge move to put them around half of their health, forcing them to throw a charge move against me here right now, which is going to be super good for us, as we will be able to now go ahead and go for our Melmetal. I can go for a charge move against the Giratina that came in here right now, and honestly, this is going to be a tough matchup. They especially still have 2 shields left, and this is not really good for us here. I'm going to shield up the incoming Shadow Ball, which would do the most amount of damage here in this game now, but I will be able to go for this Sky Attack spam and hopefully get a shield by the opponent, and I do get a shield. The Dragon Tails are chunking the opponent's Giratina, which is really good for me, as I will be able to go for another Sky Attack against the opponent. But after this one, my opponent can swap out, and I cannot swap out because of, we went for the charge move first with my Melmetal, and this point of time, honestly, I misplayed this quite a bit. I knew at this point of time there's only one way to win this game, but I didn't really go for it. I had to go for the Double Iron Bash against the Dialga here. Hope that this would do enough, or would put them into range where I can just go for another one afterwards. but because of the debuff here from this superpower, you're going to see right now, the Double Iron Bash just barely doesn't do enough damage to knock out the Giratina, and I knew it at this time and I didn't want to play it risky, and at this point of time it just lost me the game. But yeah, still, this team works out really well. Double Iron Bash is not really needed in my opinion, but can make this Pokemon a little bit better in certain scenarios, but also you're going to lose some other matchups with it. Most likely you can try this one out. This team itself works out really well. I would recommend you to go rather for the Dragonite in the back though. But that's going to be it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please leave a like and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.